Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new here. So today is kind of a bonus. So today's a bonus video, guys. What we're going to be talking about is Revlon. So it's probably verging on near enough a week ago by the time this video goes out, and I have seen a couple of videos on YouTube that people have put out about Revlon. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Revlon filed voluntary bankruptcy. I think it was near enough a week ago. I'm going to talk you through it. So I was just sat at my mum's like I do every night practically, and she put the news on, and it was on the news at 10, and I was just really shocked. Another company kind of going out of business. They didn't say a lot. The spokesperson for Revlon did say that they wanted to try and get a loan and keep the company open, and we're going to talk about whether they've managed to do that. The reason I've held off making this video is because I wanted to gather as much information for you guys as possible and let you know what the outcome of it is, and I feel like we've got answers to the outcome, so I wanted to bring you this video today. So anyway, I heard that Revlon was filing bankruptcy, and the first thing that comes to mind when you think of that is them going out of business. So many companies this year have gone out of business. Started with Becca, Makeup Geek, BH Cosmetics have sold to Revolution, and I'm sure there's smaller companies as well, and now Revlon are in financial trouble. It just goes to show how much the pandemic has hit these cosmetics companies. Revlon is a big deal. I said that in a video I've just made recently, but that won't be going up for a couple of weeks yet, so I just thought I would make this separate video. It's not going to be long. We're just talking about what's happening with Revlon. So anyway, I was looking online today just to see if anything had come of it yet, because on the news at 10 in the UK it didn't give us much information. I mean, there's a few articles here. One of them says Revlon files for bankruptcy, blames supply chain snags. That's on Reuters.com. So I'm only giving you information on what's already out there, so I'm not doing anything untowards. So what I want to do is, yeah, this was 6 days ago, so I feel like it was at least a week ago when I saw that on the news. So I saw an article before. I don't know if it was this one. Don't think it was, you know. Let's try and find the one I saw. Oh, I think it was this one. This is Retail Insight Network, so this is going to probably be the most accurate. So this was on June 20th. So it wasn't that long ago. We're on June 22nd now. I'm going to try and get this up in the next couple of days, so it will be current when it goes up. So it says Revlon secures approval from bankruptcy court to borrow $375 million. So they've managed to borrow some money to keep Revlon open, which is really good. I personally haven't bought anything from Revlon from a very long time. The last thing I was looking at buying is the Revlon Candid foundation, and I didn't buy it because some people have told me that it's not a good foundation, and it shows a lot of texture. I don't know about that, but that is neither here nor there. I'm just saying, you know, if people aren't buying from that company, then obviously that is a really big deal. But we're gonna go through it now, and we're gonna try and get more information than what I got on the 10 o'clock news. So it says the company recently filed voluntary reorganisation petitions under Chapter 11 in the US bankruptcy court. So they filed voluntarily. So it goes on to say US-based cosmetics marker and marketer Revlon has secured approval from a bankruptcy court to borrow $375 million to address supply chain issues. The move comes after the company recently filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, citing disruptions in supply chains and rising costs. According to a Reuters report, which we'll look at in a second because Reuters came up, US bankruptcy judge David Jones in New York approved the loan to help Revlon deliver retail customers' orders. So basically, he approved the loan to help Revlon deliver retail customer orders. The company's chief restructuring officer testified to the court that several of its raw material vendors had suspended deliveries seeking payment settlements, and he said that the company would not be able to meet demands without access to raw materials. And then it says he added that Revlon will keep 300 million of the loan for daily business activities, while the remaining amount will be used to pay debts incurred at foreign subsidiaries that are not part of the bankruptcy. Revlon had previously said that it expects to receive 575 million in financing from existing lenders to support its day-to-day operations. And then, apart from its Canadian and UK business units, none of the company's international subsidiaries are part of the Chapter 11 proceedings. Right, so then it goes on to say, at the time of announcing the bankruptcy filing, and CEO said, consumer demand for our products remains strong, people love our brand, and we continue to have a healthy market position. I'm not disputing that. All I'm saying, like, from my point of view, I haven't bought from Revlon in a really, really long time. I feel like the last thing I bought was a powder, and that was years ago. I know Revlon is a really, really good brand in the UK, and there's always people who buy the stand. It would have been a real shame if they couldn't get this loan. But our challenging capital structure has limited our ability to navigate macroeconomic issues in order to meet this demand. By addressing these complex legacy debt constraints, we expect to be able to simplify our capital structure and significantly reduce our debt, enabling us to unlock the full potential of our globally recognised brands. In a separate development, Indian conglomerate Reliance Industries is planning to acquire Revlon, according to a report from Business Channel ET Now. But you take that with a pinch of salt. Until Revlon has come out and said so, take that with a pinch of salt. Let me click on that link. It says India's Reliance considers buying out Revlon in US, ET Now reports. Yeah, and ET Now Live tweeted something. Hashtag RIL considers buying out Revlon in USA. Hashtag Revlon filed for hashtag bankruptcy in USA this week. RIL has got big plans for hashtag beauty and personal care. And then that's it there. I will put all this in the video somewhere because I want you to have the information. But yeah, that's that. And then I want to just go back to that Reuters article. I think that'll be just saying the same thing though, and I don't want to kind of reiterate. All I wanted to say is that, right, here we go, let me just read it. Yeah, this is slightly different, so I will read it. Right, so it says June 16, Reuters. So it says cosmetics maker Revlon has filed for bankruptcy, falling victim to global supply chain disruptions that pushed up raw material costs and prompted vendors to demand upfront payments. So we've already discussed that part. And then it says, known for its nail polishes and lipsticks, the 90-year-old company in recent years has lost shelf space and sales to startups backed by celebrities such as Kylie Jenner, Kylie's Cosmetics and Rihanna's Fenty Beauty. In its bankruptcy filing, Revlon said supply chain disruptions in the spring prompted intense competition for ingredients used to make its products. At the same time, vendors that traditionally offered up to 75 days for payment began demanding cash in advance of new orders, while labour shortages and inflation added to its troubles, it said. For example, one tube of Revlon lipstick requires 35 to 40 raw materials and component parts, each of which is critical to bringing the product to market. You don't think about what goes into it, do you? Well, some of you guys might, but I certainly don't. And then it goes on to say, Robert Caruso, who was hired as Revlon's chief restructuring officer, wrote in a court filing, with shortages of necessary ingredients across the company portfolio, competition for any available materials is steep. The COVID-19 pandemic has lengthened ship delivery times since 2020, pushing up freight costs, while the Russia-Ukraine conflict and lockdowns in Shanghai have added to supply chain disruption this year. Shares in Revlon fell as much as 44% on Thursday on the bankruptcy filing before closing down 13%. The shares have halved in market value between last Thursday and close of trading on Wednesday. Media reports of potential bankruptcy filing emerged on Friday. And then it goes on to say that debts were mounting. So Revlon, which was formed in 1932 by brothers Charles and Joseph Revson and Charles Lockman, started off selling nail polish. It was sold in 1985 to McAndrews and Forbes, which remains the controlling shareholder and is owned by Rob Perelman and went public 11 years later. Revlon bought Elizabeth Arden in an $870 million skincare bet in 2016 to fend off competition. It houses brands including Britney Spears fragrances and Christina Aguilera fragrances. See, I didn't know any of that, but the company's sales lagged over the years and in 2021 fell 22% from its 2017 levels. In contrast, competitors like CoverGirl, owned by Coty Inc., have gained market share by investing heavily to improve supplies. The company also made headlines 2 years ago when Citigroup accidentally sent nearly $900 million of its own money to Revlon's lenders. Revlon asked its bankruptcy judge to confirm that the Chapter 11 filing would not stop Citibank's ongoing appeal over the $504 million. It is still trying to recover from Revlon lenders. A quick, prompt resolution of the dispute would help its bankruptcy case move forward, it said in court papers. The mistaken payment is part of a complex battle between Revlon's pre-bankruptcy lenders, who have jockeyed for control during Revlon's attempts to defer debt payments. An attorney representing junior creditors, Clark Whitmore, said in court, Revlon plans to fund its bankruptcy case with $575 million in debtor-in-possession financing from its existing lender base. It listed more than $3.54 billion in liabilities in its court filing late on Wednesday. Right, so I've read the majority of it. If you want to read it for yourself, all you need to do is type in Revlon Bankruptcy and it comes up with Revlon Bankruptcy 2022. So click that link and everything will come up. I just wanted to share with you what I heard last week. I was thinking about just putting my chopping block video out where I've done this look and another look and talk about it in there, but I just thought, well, that's not going to go up for weeks, and at that point it's going to be resolved. It's already being resolved by the sounds of it. Revlon have got a loan to stay open, which is really, really good news that they can stay open and that they can still trade. So I just wanted to bring you this information. Very, very quick video, guys. Let me know your thoughts down below. Do you shop at Revlon? What was the last thing you bought from them? I'd really be interested to know. And also, have you tried that Revlon Candid foundation? Is it a matte foundation? I think it is, isn't it? I'd love to know your thoughts as well in the comments down below. And I will see you in my next one. Bye, guys.